Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new weekly War in the East 2 editor tutorial episode. And in this one, as I said in the last one, we will cover two main topics, which are the main tab and the commander's report. Before going into the main tab, I wanted to just clarify a couple of things that I didn't explain in the previous tutorial. The first one is the so-called support units. Again, it's not really clear to what it's referring. I think the developers said it once in the forum, but I just forgot about it. And we will see in the main tab how to automatically adjust it. And the other notion that I wanted to, let's say, clarify is let's say, deals with the Soviet rifle divisions. Because you see, the Soviet rifle divisions do have here two additional slots, the core and the guards status. This can be, let's say, modified if you want to do something like I did in my 1942 campaign, to pre-assign rifle divisions to their historical rifle corps. And if you want to do it, you have to click here on core, and you have to set, for instance, let's say this is the 56th Rifle Corps, and then you have to pick two more divisions, like let's pick the 12th and the 21st. And when these divisions will arrive on the map, you can actually join them into the 56th Rifle Corps. To join units into rifle corps, they have to have at least one movement point, and they must not be frozen. In this case, this is kind of an artificial, because 3 units, in order to be merged into a rifle corps, must not have any scheduled transfer. So if you're playing without the enhanced control of the theater boxes, you will have to wait until turn 183, 84 before you could merge these 3 divisions in the 56 Rifle Corps, assuming that both the 3rd and the 12th Rifle divisions are already on the map. And coming to the main tab, this is one of the easiest tab to become familiar with, because all of the voices here, at least the voices in the in the left hand side, are quite intuitive. AI ID, you just simply have to scroll over here to pick the AI ID that you like for your scenario. Starting date, it's again self-explanatory, and at start of turn, here you set the last turn. If you want, you can change the date. For instance, we can set 1942, starting month 6 and day 28th, so June 28th, 1942, which is how I began preparing the 1942 Grand Campaign. Map northwest limit indicates basically this one here, the one in the top left corner of the map, and the map southeast limit is the bottom right corner of the map. And if you want to restrict the map, like if you want to have a I don't know, a scenario like the road to Leningrad, or if you want to have the I don't know, the from Minsk to Smolensk, a scenario like that, you have to limit the area of the map that you want to be say set as playable. Admin points indicates the AP that both faction starts the campaign with, and then admin per turn is just the APs that both faction gains each turn. Score mods indicates a percentage modifier of the final score. So let's say this applies mostly, not mostly, exclusively in the small scenarios. And let me quickly load one of these. Exactly, so now is set as 100 and 100. If you type, for instance, 150 and 100, when you go to the victory conditions, such as these ones over here, the score will be modified based on the score modifier. I open a small bracket, even though I might talk about it either in this tutorial or in a separate tutorial. When you set small scenarios, here you set the conditions. Somehow you cannot change the locations. At least I've never been able to change the victory points on the map because the game just glitches out. What you can change, however, is the number of scores that the both factions will gain when, say, killing or destroying enemy units. In this case, if the Soviets, actually yes, so if the Soviets lose 1,000 men, the Axis will gain 1 point. If the Axis loses 200 men, you have to multiply this by 1.5, which is now 300. So in order to gain 1 point, the Soviets have to kill now 300 men instead of 200, and so on and so forth. And this is how the modifier, this score mods, basically works. Victory conditions in this case is a short scenario. If you play the 1941 campaign, it becomes the campaign scenario at the end of force disabled. No unit rebuild, yes, because this is just a short scenario, and this overrides. Sorry. This overrides, for instance, let's see, the restrict rebuild. So if you lose a unit, you will never see it back. Axis attack and Soviet attack, I don't know what it refers to. Again, sorry about that. Axis and Soviet men disabled, it's pretty self-explanatory how many men are in the disabled pool. Allow Soviet unit build, yes. Allow Axis unit build, no. If you click it to yes, the Axis player will also see this button here. And if you, as I mentioned before, you have to go into the TOE. You pick, for instance, this one here. You go to OB chain and you click to all chains, and there should be the Panzer Division. You click on buildable, yes, and if you go over here, now you will see exactly the Panzer Division in the buildable list. Now, this is probably the most important button to keep into account, because if you modify anything in your scenario, you want to make sure, first of all, to lock the generic data. Otherwise, the scenario will override your modifications with the original generic data. Generic data refers to devices, aircraft, ground elements, and so on and so forth. So, first thing first, rename the scenario. Second step, lock the generic data. Production usage refers to the percentage of all of the available factories to both factions. In this case, in this road to Leningrad scenario, it means that the Axis will use just 10% of all of the production, of all of the weekly production, yes, and the Soviets will only use 20%. You can, if you set it to 250, it means that the Soviets will produce 2.5 the amount of devices and aircraft and ground elements that they would normally produce. Surrender flags. Surrender flags indicate which nation at the beginning of the scenario has already surrendered, and if we have a look at the Vistra to Berlin scenario, exactly, so as you can see, Finland, Italy, Romania, Slovakia, and Bulgaria have already capitulated. And then you have the pilot pool, so basically how many pilots are available for the indicated nations. And here you have a bunch of functions that can be quite handy when dealing with the scenario. The most important ones are update all unit order of battles. especially if you change the scenario in 1945, let's say February, and yeah, let's say on the 15th of February. And yeah, so first of all, you see that here you have now process turns from the 13th of January 1945, so from the original scenario start. And if you click it, it will load all of the changes like factories and units arrival, units departure, unit dismantlements, units renaming, and so on and so forth. Update all units order of battles refers to any TOE changes. Resets all city control. You don't need to click on that. Set all city supply requirements. It's fine. Upgrade all factories. Exactly does what I said before. Damage of map rail. Yeah, you can if you want to restrict. If you want to avoid in short scenarios the freight from going outside of the playable map, basically. Remove units. It physically removes all of the units, like everything will be gone, so don't click it. Remove off-map units will remove all the units which are not on the map, basically. All forts will clear all the fortifications in terms of these ones, exactly, of these ones here. Set whether it's okay. Load, clear, and disable record script. This is crucial when you want to set the AI opening turns. To set the AI opening turns, you have to load the scenario with both factions as humans. You have to manually move the units or attack with the units that you want the AI to use in the first turn. And then you have to, when you're done with the movement, you go to the other player, you leave the scenario, you come to the editor, and you click on load recorder script. And then you have to save it, and then you can test in the campaign how does the AI react to your scripted opening moves. Reset unit support values changes basically this. It affects the unit support. What is this support again? I have no idea. So just take it the way it is. Detach leaders in delayed HQs. It's okay. Clear production pools. It will erase everything that is stored in here. Like everything will be gone. And the last one is clear of map depots. Yeah, if you have again restricted areas of the map and you want to remove the depots there, you can click on that. And yeah, that's all for the main tab. And briefly, I wanted to talk about some hidden functions of the commander's report, namely in regard to air and units. Like we have seen how to let's say set the strength of air groups and units. We've seen how to set the supplies, the vehicles, the ammunition and the fuel and the variation and so on and so forth. Now imagine doing this for manually one by one all of the, for instance, in this case, 6,464 units. Like, you will go mentally nuts. The commander's report comes in incredibly handy in this regard, because in here you can filter basically everything that you like. For instance, to give you a practical example, I want to increase the supplies of the 3rd Belarusian front. And then I click on the HQ on the map, I go here to Commander's Report, and I don't know, I want to just increase the artillery units. So I click over here, I just select the artillery, and okay, then I go here on unit editor functions, and this is just fantastic. Like, I can set over here, for instance, let's give them an experience of let's say 75. New build science level, I want all of them to be 100%. New build ready level, I want all of them to be at around, yeah, let's say 95%. Variation level, let's give them 5% of variation level. And then keep in mind this column or this one here. And if I click on rebuild units, boom, there we have it. Slightly stronger units now, but you can see the power of using the commander's report. You can do the same in terms of supplies. For instance, we can set 150%, 185, 125, and 125, and 5% of resupply variation. And we click over here, and now you see that they have everything above 100%. You can set the unit MP, and this is like these are the maximum values that you can assign to units MPs. These are the strategic movement points, detection level, max TOE, unit fatigue, static, so they will not use vehicles, reactivate if you have static units, and of course the combat preparation points. And again, the maximum units here is 100. Ignore the fact that it says minus 100 to 100. Let's just give them 100 and say yes. And yeah, we can't say it here, but okay, where are they? No, exactly. Here they are now. Prep 100. And the same is true for the air tab. You click on edit function. Here you can say rebuild air groups, percentage ready, damaged in reserve, set the pilot experience, the fatigue, the morale, and of course the variation. And yeah, this is let's say these are two hidden gems of the commander's report in the editor that will really make a difference between going insane and be efficient. And since I mentioned briefly the victory conditions in the short scenarios, here we have the victory conditions in the grand campaign. Let me load quickly the Barbarossa scenario because I think it's easier. Okay, so here we are in the Barbarossa scenario, and again we have two, say, windows. On the right hand side we have the list of victory points. In this case, it is super easy to add or remove victory points. If you want to remove them, just click over here on the X. If you want to add, you have two options. You can set the victory city name, like for instance, if we want Narva, I type on Narva, and Narva should be over here. Now, the really cool thing is that the victory point takes into account the historical capture date. In this case, from the Axis perspective. So you have time until turn number 8 to conquer Narva and get the full 10 points plus the additional 3. Every city that is captured 3 weeks ahead of the historical capture grants you 3 additional points, and the city that is captured on the historical date only yields you 3 bonus VP, and then the longer you wait, the more you will lose bonus victory points. The cities that were never captured by the Axis in this case will always grant you 6 extra victory points, and the same is true for the Soviets. And if you add, for instance, Frolovo, which is near Stalingrad, yeah, there we go. There we have it. Here in brackets you have the city ID, and here you see you have 10 and bonus victory points 6. If you want, you can even change manually here the target turn for the Axis to capture the city of Orlovo. For instance, we can say turn number 61, and yeah, there we have it. And on the left hand side we have instead the classical victory points. Bonus and events refer to the theater boxes and the events that are triggered during the campaign, and the minus enemy bonus and minus enemy events refers to the Soviets events that will give them 1 VP and remove 1 VP from you. Initiative is basically this value over here. Now the Axis has the initiative, and here, oops, sorry. muscle memory. Yeah, so the axis now starts with the initiative, and here you set the first date in which the game starts the initiative check, and here is the date in which the initiative will for sure switch to the Soviets. And here you set the initial percentage of the chance of the initiative switching after this date over here. Here you set the sudden victory levels, so the number of victory points and the date required to trigger the either the sudden victory or the sudden defeat, or the early end defeat for the Axis, or for the Soviets, vice versa here. And then here you set the Axis sudden loss, so if the player fails to reach 525 victory points, so you remember you start with 370, and if the Axis fails by turn 29, the scenario ends in a sudden loss. And the same is true if the Axis fails to gain 575 by October 1st, 1942, the scenario ends with an Axis defeat. And yeah, that's all already for this tutorial. In the next one, we will talk about the new editor and what you can do in the new editor, and then we will start this series about the game event editor. As always, folks, thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for supporting the channel. I wish you all the best, and well, I'll see you all again next week.